Welcome to Living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection. In this episode, I'm doing my monthly Airbnb case study, the good, the bad, the ugly, and this is month 12. And this is the last one in the series where we're going over the final numbers in terms of comparing a short-term rental versus a long-term rental and whether it was worth the extra effort and how much money we made as a result of doing a short-term rental. Hi, my name's Tyler Ford in Tucson, Arizona with eXp Realty. My wife Mimi and I have been investing in long-term rental properties in Tucson for over 30 years. We've never done an Airbnb, but have always been intrigued with the short-term rental model and the income potential. I've represented real estate investors to help them find and buy properties for short-term rentals and have been blown away by the numbers they've shared with me, especially in the summer months that a short-term rental can be profitable in the heat of Tucson during the summer months. In February of 2022, we bought a property that we did a complete demo, remodel, and fully furnished it. We've now been a short-term rental since May of 2022. We have a 5-star rating on Airbnb and have earned Superhost on Airbnb. We are documenting the journey and doing a case study to compare a short-term rental versus a long-term rental and what it's like to host on Airbnb, plus share all the things we've learned along the way. Please subscribe to our channel to continue to follow our short-term rental Airbnb journey. Hello, my name's Tyler Ford, Tucson, Arizona with eXp Realty. And each and every month we've been doing the good, the bad, the ugly with our Airbnb, doing a case study where we dive on in, show you the numbers and what we learned and the mistakes that we've made and how you can prevent making the same mistakes that we have made. So I encourage you to go back to the playlist and watch those episodes. There's a lot of good stuff. But this is month 12, and month 12 I'm going over the final numbers and going to be comparing the short-term versus the long-term and showing you the difference that we made, and again whether it was worth the extra time and effort to make that money. So let's dive on into it. Before we get into the numbers, I want to go over what we learned and the takeaways, the big takeaways that we learned over the last 12 months. The first one is, if somebody wants to rent your place and they're local to your area, be cautious. And I was warned about this, but had to learn the lesson the hard way. So we had somebody local that wanted to do a stay vacation at our place, and they threw a big party. They didn't want to mess up their home, and as a result the place was a mess and they actually did some damage. So I'd encourage you to look at that episode. I'll put the link right here that will show you what happened. But again, pay close attention to people and where they're located, and if they're local, you really want to find out why they're wanting to rent your place. The next big takeaway and a big lesson learned is pricing. And so for the first probably 4 to 5 months, we didn't do dynamic pricing, and I left a lot of money on the table, and we had a lot of people. We went live in June, and we started to get bookings for the cooler fall and winter. But again, I had it way underpriced and left a lot of money on the table because I didn't understand pricing. So we use Price Labs in order to do dynamic pricing, in order to treat our Airbnb like a hotel or the airline. So going into an Airbnb, it's really important to understand pricing and do it dynamically so it changes based on seasonality, so you don't leave any money on the table. The next big takeaway is this business is all about the hospitality business. It's all about good reviews, and we've got 5-star reviews, but we've worked really hard to get those 5-star reviews. So you want to listen to your guests, and a lot of times they'll give you positive, constructive feedback privately, where you can make some tweaks in order to up your game in order to get really good reviews. The next big takeaway, and something that we had to put some systems into place, is the checkout time. At the beginning, we were having a tough time getting people to leave at the 11 a.m. checkout, especially if we had a same-day turnover where people weren't leaving, and it was just making it really difficult to do a same-day turnover. So as a result, result, we put signs up in various locations. And then in Airbnb, there's a way to do automated emails and messages. So the night before, we message them in terms of checkout, the policy, and just letting them know. So we're really on top of the checkout times. And since we've implemented quite a few systems in place, it's made things a whole lot easier. But again, I would encourage you to go back through the playlist and watch some of those videos, because we talk about the various things that we did in order to make things easier and put really good systems into place. Diving on into the numbers for May of 2023. So one thing I want to start out with, I'm proud to say that each and every month we were profitable. And one of the things that I really question is whether or not we could be profitable in the summer months, June, July, August, September, when the Tucson temperatures are well over 100 degrees. And I can proudly say that we were profitable each and every month. But as we start to head into the summer, things are definitely are slowing down, as you're going to see for our main numbers. So the May P&L looks like this. So our gross rental income for May was $1,930.30. We had total expenses for May of $1,492.08 for a total net income of $438.22. So again, another profitable month, but as you can see, things are definitely starting to slow down. If you go back and look at January, February, March, and April, again, things are definitely starting to slow down. But again, each and every month has been profitable for us over the last 12 months. Now I'm going to share our P&L for the last 12 months. So this is from June of 2022 to May of 2023. So our gross rental income for the last 12 months was $39,692.30. Our total expenses were $19,506.10 for a total net income for the last 12 months of $20,186.20. But if you take a look at our expenses over the last 12 months, interest expense, we've got a 15-year fixed mortgage. So we've got interest expense, but the nice thing about the 15-year, we've been building a ton of equity because each and every month that we make our mortgage payment, a large portion of that goes straight to principal. But our biggest expense, our utility cost, for a total of $4,743.44. But some of the things that we put into place in order to help manage our costs, and again, if you go back and look at past videos, we put in a Vivid security system. So we're able to manage the thermostat from our phone. So we control, the mins and maxes and determine whether or not somebody's leaving or going. And when they're gone, it actually changes the thermostat to a temperature that is going to keep our utility costs down. So that was one system that we put into place that has really kept costs down in terms of utility costs. So again, total net income for the last 12 months, $20,186.20. Now the number you've been waiting for, short-term versus long-term rental and how much extra money we made as a result of doing a short-term Airbnb. So like I mentioned in the before, the total gross income, $39,692.30 as an Airbnb short-term rental. Total expenses were $19,506.10 for a total net income of $20,186.20 as a short-term rental. Now, taking a look at the long-term rental, if you look at, there's a lot of different places to go see what your property would rent for. You can go into the MLS. I use a product called Rentometer, which is really good. But Rentometer says that it would rent for about $1,800. So I used $1,798 in terms of my monthly rental, which I feel is about right. I think we could get a little bit more, close to $2,000, because it's newly remodeled and really nice. So for this illustration, I'm going to use $1,800. So the gross rental income as a long-term rental for 12 months would have been $21,576. and then putting in some expenses, because if you're doing a long-term rental, there's a lot of things that you don't have to pay where you pay as a short-term, like utilities, cable and internet. So again, there's a lot of variable costs as a short-term rental that you have to pay where you wouldn't pay if it was a long-term rental. So the expenses that we would have paid as a long-term rental would be HOA dues of $540, insurance and property taxes, which is impounded on our mortgage, would have been $2,190.87. And then our interest expense on the mortgage, $5,305.43, for a total net income, pro forma total net income on a long-term rental would have been approximately $13,539.70. So the difference, we were more profitable as an Airbnb short-term rental. The difference was $6,646.50 more profitable over the last 12 months as an Airbnb short-term rental. So those are the numbers, but I'm curious what your take is. Do you think that the extra $6,646 was worth the time and effort? And looking back on it, I would say it was. But again, to be honest with you, I thought we would make more money as a short-term rental, and it was more work and effort than I thought it would be. So the key question you need to ask yourself if you're contemplating doing a short-term Airbnb rental, is it the right fit for your lifestyle, especially if you're going to self-manage? And we self-managed ours, and again, it was more work and effort than we thought it would be. But was it worth the extra $6,000? I would say yes. The key thing for us was we picked a property that was easy to manage. There's not a lot of yard work, and it's close to my office and home, so we could be over there fairly quickly. But if it was a property that was on the other side of town, or we were having to drive and spend a lot of time in the car and gas, I would say the long-term rental would have been a better fit. So again, just wanted to do this case study to share numbers to show you the difference between a long-term and a short-term rental. And I'd love to get your take as to your thoughts in terms of what your opinion is, whether it's worth the extra effort based on our numbers.